Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul, that's Flex, and that's Espo. How you guys doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon?
Trade Machine Tuesday is always turns up.
Is it?
It is.
Always?
We'll find out shortly.
It's about to get spicy. It's about to get spicy.
We
turns up like Lindsay on a filter.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
We did do a special edition of Trade Machine Tuesday yesterday because we wanted to give the people what they wanted, right? We were expecting some blockbuster, some fireworks, something over the weekend. We didn't get that. So we gave you guys an early Trade Machine Tuesday, but buckle up, y'all. Just buckle up because we have an actual Trade Machine Tuesday coming your way in just a little bit. And I don't know how you're going to feel about it. But first, before we get into that, we are going to continue our conversation around contenders throughout the league who may provide a little bit of problems for the Phoenix Suns. Today, we're going to be discussing the Miami Heat. First and foremost, how are you guys feeling about the Heat right now?
Heat culture is alive and well. Made it all the way to the NBA Finals for no damn reason. I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, they did.
You can't take it away from them. It was an impressive feat, that's for sure. Because no one expected that.
They beat the Celtics. They beat the Bucks. I mean, hey, they did the thing.
Yeah, respect.
And they give no Fs about the regular season. So you look at the roster, you go, well, are they good enough? Well, they'll probably make a deal. They don't care if they win in the regular season. They still find a way to win in the playoffs. And you got to give Eric Spoelstra all the credit in the world for that because this guy has come up through the ranks here and, he has done so much to build that Heat culture.
Best coach in the league.
Absolutely.
Best coach in the league, my guy.
I mean, you definitely can't knock the Heat as far as what they've been able to build throughout the years and how they seemingly also can take a guy who maybe during the regular season doesn't seem like they're going to be that guy in the playoffs and then have them absolutely go off in the playoffs. That's something that they're just notorious for.
Lens, always. Like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, and we go on and on. I mean, these guys, they find them.
They got them paid, for sure.
They find them.
Yeah,
He coach is real.
It is. It's a big one. All right, Emma, are you ready? All right, we're going to bring in our guest today to help us talk about the Miami Heat. Let's welcome in Jason Jackson. Jax is about to start year 20 of broadcasting for the Miami Heat. How you doing today? Oh, no, are we frozen?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, we're frozen. Oh, he left?
Yeah.
Maybe Jax was just double checking to make sure that he had everything figured out. I'll text him.
Nah, he heard us talking. And he's like, I've heard enough about Heat culture. I'm out. But, I mean, Pat Riley obviously is the one that started all the Heat culture back in the day, still calling the shots there. And kind of Spoelstra has learned under him. But I'm surprised they've been able to keep this success for as long as they have. I wonder without Udonis Haslem, though, does it fall apart?
Yeah, he's a big piece.
he retired.
He's a big piece. I mean, he was very entrenched in that Heat culture. He controlled the locker rooms. He kept the players in check. I mean, he's a big piece. So, yeah, I mean, I think they still keep going. Listen, again, I can't rave enough about Spo. The guy's just terrific, and he demands the same type of effort and attention to detail from everyone on that roster. And I think that's the difference between being a great coach and being a okay coach, when you can actually go to Jimmy Butler and say, hey, get your shit together, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And some coaches don't have they don't have the heart to do that. Spo does that, and I respect the hell out of him.
And the players respect him, too, to be able to have that type of a conversation and be like, all right, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it goes like that, but yeah.
Well, to an extent, of course.
To summarice.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
right.
if you went to Jimmy Butler and was like, hey, man, we really need you to step it up because what you're delivering is not what we know you're capable of. Yeah. Jimmy Butler's probably going to have that conversation with himself like, yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Well, he may not want to admit it out loud, but internally at the very least.
It happened at a game live this year, right?
It did. They went at it. They went at it on the sidelines, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
I mean, the interesting thing, too, Spo kind of born in it and molded by it when it comes to Heat culture, starting as a video guy.
Exactly. He's preaching it for real.
Cool. Yeah. Emma, we good to try again? All right, one more second, and then we will
Here we go.
Welcome in our guest of the afternoon. Ready? All right, let's welcome in our special guest, Jason Jackson. who is entering his 20th year
The
of
kiss of death. I love
broadcasting
it.
for the Miami Heat. Jax, how are you?
Better than most. I got about another week of what we call the days of Jax. And then it's, back to the grind, back to the mine.
Yeah.
Whoever shows up in Boca, I'm there for it. I'm not sure. We'll be there nonetheless.
Listen, this offseason has been a little bit chaotic for you guys, to say the least. Obviously, we're all still waiting to find out if there's going to be a Dame trade, if there's not going to be a Dame trade, if the Heat are going to be involved. Regardless of any movement, what are your expectations for the Heat this season?
I'm going to make one correction, and that is all, and then I will answer your glorious question. It is never chaotic. That is not an appropriate description of this Harrison family, Riley-led Spoelstra experience. And that's the thing, as I move into my 20th season, that's so reassuring and standard about the experience, even from just being in the broadcast component of all of this, which is this wonderful. Lindsay, we're in this world where we're like obviously connected to basketball, but we exist from a business standpoint in the marketing division, which is in business. So we're like, what was that scene from? I don't remember which Spider-Man it was. I think it was the Holland Spider-Man. But when Peter's holding the ferry ship together with web juice, that oftentimes feels like the tug that is happening when you work for a team as a broadcaster. But to get to your point, I will say that you guys were talking about Spo as we were trying to get connected, and we all take our cues from him. And I think his greatest gift is being even, that when it's seemingly off the charts and awesome, he's the same. And when it looks like all hell is breaking loose, he's the same. And so we all kind of take a cue off of that. And that's why I really wasn't kidding. I'm like, whoever shows up in Boca, that's who we're covering for training camp. And if there's if the buzz of the off season occurs, then it occurs. If it doesn't, the last time I checked, this team went to the NBA Finals as the Eastern Conference champion. So it's not like there's no hyperventilating on this end. There's no negotiating against oneself on this end. There's not even a lot of conversation. Like I'm tap dancing on the edges of the abyss just for you, Smitty, because we usually don't even speak about things until they're an actual thing. You look like go back through every story you've seen this summer. Where's the Heat quote? Where's the I'm hearing from the Heat? You've heard a lot of I'm hearing from Dame's camp. I'm hearing from the Blazers. And I giggle when anybody tries to come, and you see the top two news guys don't ever say, I'm hearing from sources within the Heat, because there aren't any.
Does that come from Pat Riley, though? Does that start with Pat and his approach?
You're asked and answered. Pat is everything you think he is, and also super freaking human. So his mystique, right? The folklore that comes along with the slick back hair and the Armani suits and all of the winning, to what we see now, which is, the cat that is a grandfather, who is a statesman, who is still chomping at the bit to win another championship. And I'd never talked to Pat. I don't have the audacity to speak to him about the longevity, right? When you're him with those type of credentials, with the relationship that he has with the Harrison family, who am I as virtually rank and file in the organization to even begin to wonder aloud, Patrick James Riley, how long do you really want to do this? You do it as long as you want to do it. And I think these last four teams, these Jimmy Butler teams, what they've provided him with jet fuel of an executive nature, of getting him that close twice to being on the mountaintop again, plus another trip in that space to the conference finals. So I don't have the proper hubris or the flight ability of Icarus to the man's retirement timeline. But I do, because I was a kid who grew up in the middle of this country as a Showtime Laker fan. And so I do have the joy every day of having my childhood flash in front of me, simply because our organization's president was the leader of the team on the floor that I grew up loving and connecting to this sport, which eventually became my career.
Real quick, you talked about Spo, you talked about Riley, but there's another individual in that organization that's been there for quite a long time, and Udonis Haslem, and his contributions to that organization in terms from Heat culture had to start somewhere, and you always need backers of Heat culture once it's implemented, and Udonis Haslem has certainly been that. What do you think his imprint has been on an organization, and what will it be as you guys move forward?
Here's a cool thing that you can think about with Udonis is he lived in this town when the organization came into existence in 1988. Then you fast forward, what is that, 7 years later, and here he is, I think either getting into high school or in the midst of that high school run where they won 3 championships at Miami High as Pat Riley is arriving. And then after a storied career at the University of Florida, comes down and is told he has to change his entire body, leaves the nation, goes to Europe for a year and returns with a whole new physique and becomes the starting power forward on what became the 2006 NBA champions. That's enough, right? Like that's enough of a story. We could call, Maverick Carter and LeBron and tell them crank up the film company and let's tell that story. But there's so much more in that he played 20 years for the organization, won 2 more titles as the key factor that everybody sacrificed the big money for, the big 3 taking a little bit less each just to maintain Udonis in the mix, who took a shitload. Am I allowed? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you good. You good. Keep it real, Jax. Keep it real, Jax. You good.
I mean, listen, I love Jesus, so But it's just I'm so passionate about the man and his story because I think people forget the millions and millions of dollars he left on the table because he loved this town and this team, and then gave 20 years of which the majority of the last decade of his career he spent as a mentor, both for a coach who was coming up and then for the young people that were coming in who were going to be the next culture carriers. And he did it with a pride and a grace that I think is required. And the funny thing is, anybody that would, even attempt to create some sort of snickering comment, he'll kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, you're not even like the people who like, oh, what the wasted. That was a thing sometimes, even from within Heat Nation, which was disappointing at times. It was a very, very small group of ignoramuses that would say, well, we should take that 15th spot and use it for development. We have the finest development program in the association. We have the best G League connectivity from our team to our G League team to the mothership that has ever existed.
Wow.
The fact that we have a 3-time champion who's willing to take the least amount of money a veteran of his time and service could receive to make sure that the culture remained and thrived and was handed over to the proper stewards for as long as he did is a blessing for all of us.
Hey, Jax, I got a question. So I'm loving this, man. You keeping it real. I love it. We talk about Heat culture. We talk about Spo. We talk about Riles. I always watch you guys closely. You're one of the teams that I consider like a mandatory league pass team for me. I record all the Heat games because I just love everything about the way you run that organization, the way Spo runs the team, players. So I look at this draft and I'm sitting in my house and I'm like, who the hell is Miami going to end up with in this draft? And I already got a list. I already know there is a guy that is like tailor-made Heat culture. And sure enough, I see it, Jaime Jaquez. I'm like, damn, bro, the Heat did it again. So talk to me about that. I mean, I know you saw him in Summer League. I'm really high on that kid. I think he's going to be terrific. and you couldn't find a better player in the draft to fit that culture. Talk to me about that.
First of all, it's an honor to be your League Pass side piece.
Yes, do it.
I
love you, Jack.
Closed. You show up at 4:30 Pacific, and we'll be there for you more than
yes,
that.
Sir.
Doble Jota. Actually, triple Jota.
I love it.
Yeah, we got the third J with the junior. I'm gonna tell you a great story. This is gonna tickle your toes. After we had a draft party, which I was not ready to do. I mean, when you run through the finals, right? You want to have a breather, particularly when you don't come out on top. Mm-hmm. But as you know how the schedule goes, it's finals, draft, free agency, Vegas. Hello,
yeah,
right. You do all that in one breath, and that's how it went. So we ended up, tail between our legs. All praises to the Nuggets. We come back home. It's draft party. Jax, you and Eric Reed are going to, longtime Heat broadcaster Eric Reed, you guys are going to host the draft party. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's what we're here to do, right? And so I decided I'm going to watch some tape. Who's projecting the space? And you and I agreed. I don't watch a second of college basketball. I'm a little busy. I watch the tournament just like everybody else, but I become just down on college basketball. I don't like the dictatorship kind of approach that most coaches take. The student athletes, we don't get to know them over a period of time like we used to, and 35% shooting is shit, and I don't want to watch it. I can't. But I'll do my job, which is prepare for the draft. And Jaime was the first player in that realm of 12 to 20 that I go, he smells like us. I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't at a workout. I didn't talk to an assistant coach. I'm just watching him play. And then 4-year player, as you just, I gave you my old black man basketball thing, right? Where I'm going, man, what happened to the days when they would stay for 4 years? He did. He did. And then I'll tell you this cool story. I don't think this is too out of school, but I don't think anybody knows this story. I walk out of the draft party. I walk in the garage. I happen to walk out at the same time as Miami Heat managing general partner Mickey Arison. And I say to Mickey what I just told you all. I don't pay a great deal of attention, but I hope everybody's happy because I thought this was the dude. He said, Jason, I walked in to the draft room this afternoon, and Jaime's name was the first name on the board.
Wow.
They'd already decided that was their guy, and they knew where he was projected, and they weren't going to let him get by. And when we saw what he did in Sacramento, he didn't play a great deal in Vegas at all. But I can't wait for camp and the preseason because Spo has a rule that I love. Make me watch you and then make me play you.
Ooh.
Love that.
Love it.
Make me do it. Like he's not the type of coach that goes, oh my God, I don't have enough minutes. There's not enough basketballs to go around. Please give Spo that dynamic. And there's probably cats already on the staff that are already advocating. And so I'm getting chills talking to you all about a player that I haven't seen play in a Heat game yet. And I agree with you. The fact that he takes defense so seriously, that he's a tenacious rebounder. And as he showed us, you put the ball in his hands, he's going to get a bucket.
He a bucket.
So he will. And then how about, think about the synergy of having a tutor from UCLA in Kevin Love.
Yeah.
That's right there to teach you that specific role and then also longevity and professionalism and a taste of Heat culture, of which, while it was only for a half season, Mr. Love came back from more Kool-Aid, didn't he?
Well, let's talk about a guy that caught Spo's attention and got that playing time last year in Caleb Martin. Is he going to wind up being the starting power forward? And is he a guy that has full belief there in Miami that he's the real deal?
Yeah, no, what a great story, right? My wife's first cousin is Danielle Musselman, and that's the wife of Eric Musselman, who had both of the Martin twins at Nevada. And I kid with Eric all the time that while, he's doing it big in the SEC, I know his favorite player is still Caleb Martin.
Right.
From those days at Nevada. And it's because there's just such your folks probably know his whole story. So I'm not going to get deep into, the fact that he, left the Hornets and took the two-way and then got the full deal and then got a full, extension as a free agent with the Heat. Pat talks versatility all the time. And I think Spo embraces that. And so it's really a beautiful thing. You can change it in matchups and you can make it a situation where it's apropos to who you're playing, or you can come out and just say, hey, we're going to do small ball again. Or do you go to Kevin and do kind of a spot starter thing where, you let him go for 10 minutes in the first and 10 minutes in the third, and Martin does the rest of that. It doesn't matter. Like Spo a decade ago went to positionless, and now in an era where maybe the big player is mattering a little bit more. I'm not saying the threes are going to stop flying, but there's a lot of options, and so having a variety of ways to win and a variety of personnel to get it done, that is absolutely what you want. So Ed Martin will be in the mix, so highly respected and regarded.
Jax, what's the Heat's biggest strength heading into the season, and maybe what is something that they are looking to improve upon?
It's endless improvement. That never stops. I think this team would like to get back to being an elite defense. Top four is always Spo's objective from a defensive rating standpoint. And I think the Heat might have been there for a little bit in January, but I think that would be appreciated. I'm looking forward to in the challenge area before I get to what's going to be awesome. I'm looking to see how they deal with seeding. Like, it was awesome to be the first team to come out of the play-in and get to the finals, but that ain't the fun way. That is
right.
Like, that is entirely hectic. It's nice to have all those home games lined up and those couple days off while teams are battling to get in. But this team, I mean, they're just so dogged that they almost enjoy the hard way. I think we led the NBA with over 50 games settled in the last 5 minutes. And, as the guy who calls the game on radio now, as well as maintaining my TV hosting responsibilities, those are long nights, man. Like, that's a lot of talking and considering and analyzing and breaking down. So I would love a team that doesn't mind, blowing fools out on occasion. As for what is always, I think, the best thing with this team is it's our organizational continuity, and that now is permeating with this group that's been together for, core group that's been together for 5 years. It stunk losing Gabe and Max. I mean, absolutely. Those are personal relationships, watching guys grow right in front of your eyes for 4 and 5 years. But we appreciate the stacks that they went and got in Los Angeles and Cleveland, respectively. But the beautiful thing is, it's just, I call it shampoo basketball, rinse and repeat. Like, it's just, there'll be 2 more dudes and names that you don't know that you will by the end of November that are impacting and complementing everything that we'll currently say is the wonderful triumvirate of Butler, Adebayo, and Hero. And then it just goes from there. So I'm excited. This is Spo's 16th season as head coach, 29th season in the organization. And it's just wonderful to have that layer of continuity. Same family owning the team, same leadership from Pat's office with Andy Ellisberg and Adam Simon and all that great basketball staff. And then I'm really this is going to be a really cool season for me personally, only because when I was afforded the opportunity to come to this organization back in 2004, before we let you all enjoy Shaq after that, we took the very best of the last of Shaquille. I was hired as he was traded in, and we changed our entire platform. And I have spent 17 seasons as the team's television host and courtside reporter. And then 3 seasons ago, as we begin, right, so 2 full seasons already, I was fortunate enough to be named the radio voice of the team on top of my TV hosting. And it's just it's a love affair that I have with my employer. And I never thought I would say that. I did not love my previous employers. I appreciated the opportunity. This is a love affair that saved my career, number one. I'm candid in that statement. And then allowed me to raise my family in this space. My sons are now 24 and 21, and their entire lives have been wrapped in the excellence of Miami Heat basketball. And as I reach into this next decade, probably my last decade, I'm just so grateful and thankful that I get to put on makeup and get on TV and talk about basketball, and then get on the radio and act like a complete idiot. So whenever you feel froggy, jump on over to the Miami Heat audio experience.
Well, Jason,
you might want to put on two shirts.
If you get bored in Miami, you can come just call my life.
Yeah,
bro.
Seriously, wait, real quick before you leave, I know Espo and Flex and myself, we grew up in an era where you were must-see TV at night on NBA man. Tonight, man. And listen,
that was
the only way.
Lindsay was a zygote.
That was one of the only ways I could see, bro.
Not only that, but it was also one of the only ways that I felt like I was getting an authentic piece of the game, and not just broadcast, straight up and down, kind of like, and he made this basket. But no, like, you gave it to me like I was in the living room and we were all hanging out. And that's what I fucking love about you, man.
I mean, number 2 in ITE, all right, because it was on ESPN2 with our banded collars and chambray shirts.
Yes, sir.
What a delight. Hall of Fame writer David Aldridge next to me.
Wow.
Mad Dog Freddie Carter as our
I missed the nostalgia, man. We gotta hang out, Jack.
So late. Yeah, man. And remember, I was the 3rd host of that show. So Stuart Scott was the original host.
Yes. Wow, bro. What a stat. What?
Yeah. And then yours truly. When Keith Olbermann first departed ESPN, it created this shift in responsibilities. And Kenny Mayne went to that seat alongside Dan Patrick on SportsCenter. This is for the old heads. I love this. I'm so glad.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going, man.
And then I believe Reese Davis left NBA Tonight to go to RPM Tonight, which left the opening for NBA Tonight. And I was young and in the rotation. I had come in at SportsCenter as an anchor at 23. I was really bad at it. Thank God for ESPN News. I got to just get in and just work reps like anybody else. I'm a baseball player growing up, and so it was. I understood. I need to learn how to hit a curveball. I got it. Get this age.
Pedro Serrano.
And that's what ESPN News did for me. The original iteration in '96. It was anchoring in a fishbowl with my back to the newsroom where every executive's office was for 3 hours a day, just getting better. And so that next year, the 50th anniversary of the NBA, 1997, I was begging to get more opportunities on specialty shows. And that shift created the beginning of, what has now been, I guess I'm going into my 27th year covering the NBA. But you can't have a good night without the NBA tonight.
Yes, sir.
Right, baby.
Yes, sir. I love it, man.
Hey,
when you make it out to Phoenix, Jax, we gotta link up, man. I need it, man. You make it out here to Phoenix this year. You gotta come up over here, man.
I think we're there right after the New Year holiday. So I think that first week in January, we play the Clippers and Lakers, so I'll be a mess when I get there because I'll be in LA for like 5 days.
All right, man. That's all right. We know how to handle that, Jax. We good.
There's sometimes I do not. I will actually be very clear that at 51 years old, I still don't know how to say no. I will not have another.
Jax,
But I will hold Lindsay responsible for gathering us all and doing some damage in the mean streets of the PHNX.
Hell yeah.
Listen, Jax, you've been one of the fan favorites as far as our guests go on this program.
Yeah.
And all you guys clamoring about how much you love Jax in the comments right now, make sure you go give him a follow on Twitter at The Jax Show, because all the stories he's telling you, and if you the Heat are your side piece, Jax will bring it every night.
Oh, there ain't nothing like a league pass side piece. You ain't got to tell nobody. You can turn out the lights. Blowing brow, split smoke liquor, and just enjoy it.
Jax
Comes in the room, is like, where the sun's at? Shh. Coming 7 o'clock. Eddie will be on. It'll be fine. Just stop.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, man.
That was
That just
awesome,
made my week.
We
right
might clip
there.
that and make it our intro, man. Oh, hey.
Please have me back, by the way.
Oh my gosh, we will absolutely.
Love you,
Thank you
Jax.
so much. We'll see you
Thank you
next
all.
time.
You know it.
Wow.
that was-
That's
He's
my
such a
that's
gem.
my
That
all-time favorite guest right
dude,
there.
that is absolutely my all-time favorite guest. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I had forgot that he was NBA
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Until you
That
said
dude,
that.
I-
I was like, oh,
Dude,
shit.
like
I was hoping
would-
you said something.
Dude, like
because
I would have basketball practice and I would get home at like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then the games would be over immediately, ESPN2 to watch all the highlights and listen to my man. It
Yeah.
was so fucking dope.
And he's exactly like that in real life too.
It's
He's
amazing.
so fun to hang out with. The
Oh my
sweetest
God.
person too. Love Jack. So
Yeah, that
shout out
was
to him
awesome.
for joining us. I'm glad. I think I just got brownie points from all three of you for bringing Jax on
you're
the
cool.
program.
You're
Lynn,
cooler
that
than I
shit. Hell yeah.
realized.
Lynn,
Oh my God.
you got to set up the thing out
meetup,
here.
yeah.
I'll have to send him a thank you note and be like, hey, just so you know, I got major brownie points for that, so I
Yeah,
appreciate
that was
it.
dope.
Yeah, he eating for free in Phoenix when he come out.
I
here.
feel cooler just from having been on a show with him.
That was
Oh
awesome.
my
was
goodness
awesome.
gracious. All right, we're going to continue our conversation.
Hold on. Gilbert just said
Yes.
in the chat, we need the sexy sax.
Oh,
when
hell
he's
yeah.
talking.
Oh, if you don't think we're not going to clip that and then throw some music underneath just to
Oh,
make it feel a
yeah.
little sexy,
yeah.
I got you. We're going to do that.
Oh,
Oh,
my
that was-
God.
Best side piece. I love it.
Man,
All
that's kind
right, we're going to continue our conversation around the Heat. But first, I want to remind you guys that BetMGM, they want to give you some money. All you got to do is download the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use that bonus code PHNX when you sign up. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook app of at least $10, and you'll receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome.
Can I throw something else out there?
Yes.
Folks, I don't know how to tell you this too many times. They give away free bets on Wednesday. They give away free bets on Saturday. When you wake up, you download the app. If you don't have it already, use promo code PHNX and get your free bet. I did an 18-team parlay. One team threw it off. One fucking team. The first game of the night, though, so it was all good. But it's free money
Exactly.
if you win. I don't know what you're waiting for. Download the damn app and use promo code PHNX.
I want
Do
50,
it.
I want 50 off a $10 for
I'm
a
telling
bonus
you.
bet.
See,
It was easy.
I told
the
you
free bets is the best part because you can
Yes.
get a little crazier with some free bets
Yeah.
that you could potentially win big on, and it's no sweat.
I did the show where I put my son's bet. That was this.
Yeah.
$10 bet, $200 free. He put the $10 bet in, made turn into $700. Like, what are y'all waiting for?
You should do it. Bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
And of course, if you're going to be betting on sports, you should be watching sports. And you can watch on Fubo TV. It's the best place to take in all the football action. You can watch your favorite college football. You can watch the NFL with Fubo TV. And right now, you can go to FuboTV.com/PHNX to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. So again, we literally have put together the best package for you for all week long and through the weekend. We've got you covered. You got BetMGM, you got Fubo TV, literally all the sports that you can consume. got you covered right there. So again, that's FuboTV.com/PHNX to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. All right. So Jax did bring up quite a bit of the players that we were talking about with the Heat, but let's take a look at all of their key additions and subtractions. I don't know why that word was so difficult for me.
You could have gone with the key additions, key losses.
I wrote down losses, but I don't know why I felt like I had to do subtraction, but okay. Key additions. We've got Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant, Jaime Hawkins Jr., and on the losses side, we've got Gabe Vincent, Cody Zeller, Victor Oladipo, and Max Strus. You guys talked about Jaime and how big you are on him. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the movement that was made within the Miami Heat organization this season?
Max Strus was kind of inconsistent. He had a really good year shooting the three and overall, but then they got to the playoffs and it was like, Mr. Freeze. Everything just iced up for him. Gabe Vincent was solid this year too in the playoffs. He was the reason why they even made it as far as they did, because he had some all-time heater games over there. So, but they lost him, and now they're gone. And you're hoping that Jaime Hawkins can make up some of what they lost. I do agree with Jax in terms of defensively. I thought that they were kind of, when they played the Nuggets especially, and I know the Nuggets make just about every team look stupid, they were just like, they were really discombobulated. Jokic was just such a nightmare from so many different levels. And the one thing that you got to be careful of when you're playing a team like the Nuggets is that you can't let Nikola Jokic do everything everywhere all at once. Yeah. You got to try and take something, or attempt to try and take something away. And they just could never figure it out in that series. And so like, I think defensively is where they're going to have to lock down. I think a guy like Jaime Hawkins can definitely do that. He played for Cronin at UCLA, who's a hard ass. He's going to play for Spo and that Heat culture, who's also a tough cookie. So I have high hopes for Jaime Hawkins, but overall, I would be shocked if the Heat made it back to the NBA Finals. I see them as being a playoff team, but nothing more than a first or second round exit.
Yeah, it all comes down to the growth of Bam, Tyler Hero, Jovic, Highsmith. Like, these guys have to grow. It's that internal development that we heard for years here in Phoenix about the last group before they made the KD trade. It's how do they grow? How do they improve? And can they make up for the loss of Strus and Vincent? And it's a big if. But if any franchise could pull it off, it's the freaking Heat. Like, you just look at it and you go, how did they do that? And if they wound up back in the finals, I don't think anybody would do anything but go, yeah, that's Spo and the Heat.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
It must be.
Yeah. They're one of these teams that, I know he mentioned seeding. They're one of the teams that, again, I don't care about seeding. Like, they just got to get in.
But because of their seeding and their path, when they got to the finals, they were done. They were so tapped out.
If you're the Suns, I don't think you'd be disappointed if the Heat or who show up in the finals if you make it.
Oh, hell no.
Because I think again, they're going to have to scratch and claw just to get there.
Yeah.
And the overall talent discrepancy in the end, it probably would lean in the Suns' favor. But that's not a knock on the Heat, because they just do so much right that even getting there wouldn't be impressive. But of the 10 teams, if I saw the Heat in the finals, I'm not as scared as I am with the Bucks or the Celtics.
I tell you what, I hate when we play the Heat in the regular season. Those two Suns games, I hate it. I mean,
they play well here and we play well there.
Yeah, but it's always hard. Like, I remember watching some film and watching Mikal get destroyed, like hit play after play after play, running them through screens. So it gets exhausting. And I just feel like this team, there's two versions of them, right? There's the team that they currently are, and then there's the team that they might become with Dame. My only caveat with this, guys, is I think Jimmy Butler as the number one is the best version of himself, right? If they do get Dame and Jimmy becomes the number two, he's not the same Jimmy. I'm telling y'all, he's not the same Jimmy as when he's the number one option. And it's very similar to Paul George with the Clippers. When PG is the number one option, you see Paul George. As soon as Kawhi comes into the mix, PG takes a step back. Yeah. And so I'm enamored with that. I want to see if they do get Dame, how much does that change Jimmy? Because if Jimmy changes, the whole thing changes.
But that's why I think they may be hesitant on the Dame thing. I think Buddy Hield is the guy they wind up going and getting.
Okay.
A guy that can add a little bit more offense, a guy that can come in at a cheaper price.
I can see that.
And they go, does that it's obviously not the big swing.
Well, it's not only that, but like defensively is like the biggest miss. And he would get his ass chewed up by Spo and company defensively.
I still think they're going to go the cheaper route than Dame on that. And maybe it's not Hield. That's a name that's available, but I think they go a different route than Dame in the end.
All right. So from a meter perspective, Espo, I know you're not feeling too worried about the Heat, but from the meter perspective, easiest path being or least concerned about the Miami Heat, we're going lobster rolls. Then we get a little nervous with South Beach, and then the humidity, and then Pat Riley. Where are you guys at on this meter?
Rolls.
Lobster rolls are delightful.
Yeah.
What the fuck is lobster in Miami for?
You're not worried about anything. That was Gerald. Gerald loves lobster rolls.
Is there lobster in Miami?
I'm going to go below lobster rolls, and I'm going to go side piece territory with Jax there. I'm not that worried about Miami. I think they're a fun story. They're a team that we'll enjoy watching, but I don't think they're as big of a threat as others.
Instead of lobster rolls, I'm going to go Cubano sandwich right there.
Oh, the Cubano sandwich. I like that.
And that's as much as I'm worried about the Heat. I don't have any concerns that the Suns would breeze past through them in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I'm. What is it again? I'm sorry. I'm like
South Beach.
Humidity and Pat Riley.
I'm gonna go humidity, just because I love Spo and those guys so much. I'm gonna go humidity.
The famous lobster rolls in Miami.
I asked that yesterday, and Gerald was like, "Miami's known for lobster rolls." I'm like, "Isn't Boston known for lobster rolls?"
No, Gerald went to one fucking lobster roll place when he was there.
Maybe Gerald
that doesn't
was
mean
just
that's
really
it.
craving lobster rolls.
I mean, that's like saying
yesterday.
Arizona's known for their seafood. All because you can get it here doesn't mean that we're known for it.
I don't know what to tell you.
Look, if Gerald was just basing it on food he ate, it would be like Nashville hot chicken every city.
Every city, yes.
You know what's hilarious about this is that it got to this point before we noticed this.
Well, I didn't see it. So.
We all talked about it yesterday.
I was gone when you guys started talking.
Lobster roll, but Cubano sandwich would have been a nice replacement.
That would
they
have been
got the
a smart
Cubano sandwich.
Cubano makes sense.
I mean, I'm not going to go as far
Salsa
down
dancing.
as to say the lobster roll option. I'm going to go South Beach.
Ooh.
I'll go South Beach.
Wow.
It's a
So
little
you're
bit
not worried at all.
I mean, they said lobster roll.
I said Cubano.
Cubano, you're in the
Same
green.
thing.
Regardless, you guys have no concern whatsoever.
Oh, that's the green?
They went green.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah,
South Beach.
so I'm gonna go
Oh, y'all
South
got
Beach.
no
I'm gonna go
concern.
to the yellow. So like
with you.
one step above green.
That's
Of
fair.
just like I'll give them the respect that they deserve by
Yeah.
not like fully throwing shade on their name.
That's fair.
Can I tell you guys a story one time about when I was in Miami?
Yeah.
Um,
Tell it like Jax.
I can't tell. I am not on the level.
We don't want to
of-
hear it.
It's the dumbest story ever, but I can't not remember this. So you know how when you're traveling with teams, there's always food everywhere, right? Because there's just catering everywhere, making sure the players are fed and full and happy and not hangry.
Our
or
audience
anything.
does not know that. Did
Well,
you guys know that?
that's what they do.
There you go.
I did, yes.
And there's always a fruit platter.
There's always
A flute would be much different.
It would be quite interesting.
They're always playing jazz flutes
It's
on
always
the
a
plane.
fruit platter. And when we were in Miami one time, it's like, the circular tray, and usually it's a variety of fruit. All it was whole bananas, like shaped in like different, like it was all decorative and shit. But it was just an entire, like this big, an entire platter of just bananas.
Wow.
It was the funniest thing to me because I had never seen that before. They made it all fancy, and I even took a picture of it because I was like, this is just hilarious.
Got to keep the
Anyway.
potassium up. I mean, that's
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was the funniest thing, so I had to tell you guys that, even though it's probably not nearly as funny to you as it is to me. But I think one
Jackson would have
thing.
been like, you know what they had on the tray? Bananas.
Fried
He
pieces.
would've.
He said bananas.
But one thing we can all agree on is that Shady Rays sunglasses are elite and they look beautiful on your face. So if you have not picked up a pair, now is a great time to do so. We are talking about premium polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company with a world-class product. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And right now, they are giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com, use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
You're getting a lot of compliments about your hair today.
Thank you. I put tinsel in it. You guys, if you are seeing the shiny thingies, it's true. I did. It's fun. I just felt like being special. I just wanted to be a little extra.
They're showing you a lot of love in there,
That's all.
I did
Thanks,
not.
guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Also, love our friends over at Illegal Pete's, especially when they bring lunch on a Monday afternoon, because nothing picks up your Monday quite like having Illegal Pete's for lunch. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer, and they have been for 28 years. And they have happy hour every single day from 3 to 8 p.m. at all 12 locations. So make sure you guys check out our friends over at Illegal Pete's and treat yourself to some goodness. All right, you guys want to talk about some more trade shenanigans?
Let's do it.
Because
Let's go.
Fire it up, Emma.
it is Trade Machine Tuesday. Trade Machine Tuesday. Trade Machine Tuesday. Trade Machine
That thing is hilarious.
Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. So here's why I did a disclaimer at the top of the show. I told y'all to buckle up for Trade Machine Tuesday. Because if you didn't like yesterday's trade options,
Ooh.
you are not going to like today's.
Can I let's add a disclaimer. These are the kind of deals that if you don't get the top of the mountain, you're looking at. And it'll make you wish that yesterday's deals were the ones that you might actually get.
Basically, we want everybody to be on board with yesterday and absolutely hate today. So we made some shit up, and here we go.
But also,
we didn't. Gerald.
But also,
Gerald, yes.
this is kind of like a good exercise to realize like where the Suns are at right now, because they're the ones who are getting calls made to them. They're getting offers thrown their way. And these are some of the things that might be brought up in those conversations and why the Suns might end up sticking with DA through the season, or at least through the trade deadline later on in the season. So we'll start with this one first. The Suns receive Yusuf Nurkic and Dorian Finney-Smith. The Blazers receive Ben Simmons, DA, a 2025, 27, and 29 first-round pick. And the Nets receive Damian Lillard and Nasir Little.
Sorry.
That bad?
I'm going to throw up.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of this shit.
Are we just going to roll through these
None
and
of this
everybody
shit.
just
These
be
are
like, pass?
The worst
Pass.
trade ever, in my opinion.
Can we just show them all in succession and then give the giant rubber stamp? I mean, I have a reason why I would poo-poo on all these as a whole. But
Steve and Vice,
I
I
mean,
already
sure,
hate all
we
these
could
trades.
We just
Connor's
power
like,
through
deal.
all of these trades. The next one, we've got the Suns receiving Spencer Dinwiddie and Nick Claxton. The Blazers receiving Ben Simmons, DA, a 2027 and 29 first-round pick. And the Nets receiving Damian Lillard, Yusuf Nurkic, and Nasir Little.
What did the Trailblazers do to deserve that too? It's like,
Oh, I know.
it's like-
Also, like, you're going to hand Ben Simmons and DA together? Oh.
talk about a frustrated
Oh,
fan
my
base.
God.
Wow.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Suns receive Julius Randle, Taquan Jeffries. The Blazers receive DA, Jalen Brunson, and Isaiah Robbie. The Knicks receive Damian Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic.
Hey, the Knicks ain't ever they're not letting go of Jalen Brunson. No,
Can we please go back to Nurk and OG, bro?
Wait.
Give
Pull
me
that one back up.
Give
Pull
me
that one
Nurkic,
back up.
Caleb Martin.
Right.
Jalen Brunson. I didn't even see Jalen Brunson in there. I was looking at the Suns.
First of all, the Knicks are never trading Jalen Brunson, bro.
Yo, I would take Julius Randle, though.
Yeah. I mean, the Suns, I mean, they poked around on Julius last year, but yeah, I don't know.
You ready for the last one?
Yeah, what's the last one?
The Suns receive Drew Holiday. Blazers receive DA, Grayson Allen, and Andre Jackson Jr. And the Bucks receive Damian Lillard and Ish Wainwright.
Oh, can I get the mic on me for this one?
Yeah.
Listen, folks, A couple years ago, a tragedy happened when this Suns team was falling apart in the playoffs, and we had one Aaron Holiday sitting on the bench, chilling.
We're back
not doing shit.
Oh no!
Give me Drew fucking Holiday all day long.
You could have had him.
He's a dog. I want him now. I'm all for this trade.
You know that he was supposed to be a Sun, right? The year that they drafted Earl Clark, that was the guy they wanted.
Yeah.
But they thought they had the deal done for Steph, and they said, well, we don't need another point guard.
Correct.
And they took Earl Clark.
Correct.
Drew Holiday should have been a Sun a long time
from the
ago.
beginning. Yep. I love Drew, dog.
Same, but my biggest concern is he's 33 years old. Like, I'm not trying to get older.
Where does he fit?
Yeah, how small are you actually playing?
First of all, we're not going to question the Holiday brothers, okay? Ever on this podcast. The Holiday brothers are the truth.
Yeah.
Drew the truth. Thank you, Jay. Drew can fit anywhere. He can start at point. He can come off the bench. He's a dog. He's going to lead your defense. You're going to have a fucking phenomenal backcourt, no matter who you match him up with, especially if he comes off the bench with Jordan Goodwin, Andrew. You ain't getting through that backcourt. Let's fucking go.
I don't disagree with you, bro. Listen, the player, I'm never going to say no to Drew Holiday, the player. I just don't know about the fit. At that point, how many guards do you need? Are you playing Book at the small forward now?
Can we take, hold on.
Are we just going no position?
No. Let's take a step even further back. Why in the world would you help the Milwaukee Bucks get their hands on freaking Dame Lillard?
That's true.
That is true. I didn't realize that.
I didn't see that part.
I didn't realize that.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Within this particular trade, the Bucks get Dame Lillard and Ish Wainwright. So that means we got to give up our guy Ish.
Nope, I will never give up my guy Ish.
I love Ish. I love Ish.
I know.
I love Ish. But we're not going there, okay? You don't put me in a bad spot with Ish.
Can we?
I love Ish. But if we're going to get somebody like a superstar,
you do have to do what you got to do to make your team better.
I know these were fun joke. Hey, we're doing Trade Machine Tuesday. But can I make a point on something I briefly touched on yesterday? I went back and looked at all of Frank Vogel's teams that he's coached, right? And everybody always is like, oh, the big man. The big man was the anchor of the defense. He got the most out of the big man. It's not the case. It's small forward that were usually the linchpin to the defense, right? Danny Granger, 6'7", in 2010, 2011. He was the defensive linchpin, 106.3 defensive rating. Again, Granger in 11-12. With the Magic in 15-16, Jeff Green, 6'8" wing, was their defensive stalwart. The 16-17, it was Evan Fournier. 18-19, it was Danny Green, another wing. 19-20, it was Taylor Horton Tucker, a wing for the Lakers. The point of the defense for Frank Vogel is that small forward position.
Yep.
That is the position right now, small forward, power forward, depending on where you're going to have KD, that you're trying to figure out who your fifth starter is. And to me, this is why they're taking calls. OG Anunoby, a 6'7" wing, 109 career defensive rating. Caleb Martin, a 6'5" wing, 111 career defensive rating. A Shaedon Sharpe, if they get in a conversation with Portland.
I want to talk about that.
6'6" wing, 122 career defensive rating. Granted, it's 1 year. But to me, this is what they're trying to get out of a deal. You take a little bit of a hit or a hit at center, but you get that defensive piece that anchors Vogel's entire system.
We talked earlier today before we came on, and the last update I got was what we talked about. Portland and the Suns still talking about Nurkic, and the Suns trying to get Shaedon Sharpe. So there'll need to be a third team for the Suns to get Shaedon Sharpe in a Nurkic deal, and Toronto would be that third team. So I'm just reiterating some stuff that we already previously talked about, and it seems like we may be getting a little bit closer. So just keep your eyes on that. But Shaedon Sharpe is a guy the Suns really like, really value on a rookie contract, heck of a basketball player, and fits that mold you're talking about in Frank Vogel's defense. Whether it was OG, Shaedon Sharpe, or Caleb Martin, it's the same type of player. And so we see what what happens in this process.
And I think that's the linchpin of a deal. Everybody's freaking out about Yusuf Nurkic, but I think it's what are they getting as a defensive anchor?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, you guys.
Listen, I hear you. And we hear you chat. We see, Gambo had tweeted, here we go on basically the same stuff that we've been talking about in Portland, Toronto, and Phoenix.
Yeah, but it was a 9-hour-old tweet that he quote tweeted. It was really weird.
Listen, we've been down this road already. So we just got to wait to see what happens next. The Suns would be foolish not to take a deal with Nurkic and Shaedon Sharpe, but I don't know if that's, a real possibility.
I think I'm telling you, I got a call this morning, and I do think that if Toronto wants Dame and Portland wants this thing to go through the way they want it, that he may be the sacrificial lamb. So let's see. Shaedon Sharpe is a guy that has they have a lot of interest.
Well, we'll be here for you if anything does go down. To follow along on social media, the show at PHNX_Suns. And of course, you can find the latest as far as articles go over at gophnx.com. And if you are a diehard, you get access to our diehard Discord. And we drop a bunch of shenanigans over in there. So check it all out. You can learn more about what being a diehard is all about at gophnx.com. And of course, if anything pops up, we'll be here for you guys. Just like Circle K's Inner Circle is there for you guys all the time. Circle K's Inner Circle is a new free membership program, and it gets you to save 25% off or 25 cents off each gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. It also gets you every 6th free on a selection of Circle K products like pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. So join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details. All right, guys, you ready to round out the show with some shenanigans?
Oh, yeah. What shenanigans do we have today, Lindsay?
Shenanigans the whole time.
Yes. No, I don't think so. We were mostly on the rails today. It was like low key shenanigans.
We're talking side pieces.
That's fair. I guess my level of shenanigans is the line has moved a lot.
First of all, the growth in you, Lindsay, has been tremendous. Good job. Number 2, we did not bring up side pieces. That was Jack.
That was Jack.
Yeah, that was Jack.
We have grown.
Lindsay told a story about bananas, though. So.
Yeah, and we didn't laugh.
Well, it wasn't funny. That's why we didn't laugh.
It wasn't meant to be funny necessarily. I mean, kind of. Anyway, so
they were some pretty long bananas.
Bleacher Report is doing a bracket of the best duos in the NBA, and they're asking fans to vote. And they are currently in the semifinals right now. And it is the Nuggets and the Lakers going toe-to-toe, and the Celtics and the Suns going toe-to-toe. How do you guys feel about this bracket?
I love it. I've been following it from the beginning. You all right, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm dying to death. Like, the more I talk, I feel like I'm just, like, losing air. I feel like I'm a balloon that's just being deflated slowly.
True MVP there, Lynch. I like this. This came out, I want to say middle of the week or something like that. I saw the beginning of the bracket, and I looked at the seedings, and I was like, this is a duo tournament. Like,
and the Suns are 7th?
Yeah, Suns are 7th. I was bugging out, like, hold on. And then I kind of been enjoying it. They put it up on the app, you vote, and the Suns have been smoking everybody. KD and Book, I think they're going to win this thing. I really do. I just think that it's a popularity contest.
Well, they're the only guys in all these rankings that have shown up in the top 10 together, right?
Yeah.
Across the how is that not the best duo? Like it makes so little sense to me that they aren't de facto the best duo just because they've been that high ranked by everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and Bleacher Report just last month when they did their own ranking of best duos in the NBA right now, they had Book and KD as the number 1 spot.
That's right.
So now they're just opening it up to the fans. But listen, maybe they were throwing the Suns a bone and being like, listen, we're going to put you at 7th, 3rd seed. It's not shade. It's just because we know this is easy sailing for you.
You mean they took the Nuggets path, the easy sailing to a championship.
Ooh, that's a shot.
You said
Shots
it,
fired.
not me.
I don't want any part of that.
Shots fired.
But it is, to an extent, it is a popularity contest. And this is where having a guy like Kevin Durant on your team really helps out in these type of situations where voting is involved, because Kevin Durant comes with a lot of fans. And I think those fans could potentially outweigh all the haters that Devin has. So that's a positive. So if you guys want to vote on this, I think you have to have the Bleacher Report app in order to vote, because I scrolled for 20 minutes on their desktop and I could not find it. Also, so that means basically if KD and Book don't win, then it's not real. We don't have to take it seriously.
Yes.
That's the shenanigans part of it all.
Yeah. It's cool though. I've been enjoying it. I've been following it along. I think today the Nuggets were like a percentage point above the Lakers when I checked.
Okay.
And the Suns were good 10% over the Celtics. So it looks like it's going to be Nuggets Suns championship.
Looks like it is. You know who's not in the championship?
Who?
The Mavs. And I love the fact that we live rent free in their fucking heads.
You can't have
Don Kedick. Go somewhere else.
You can't have a duo when your roster consists of one guy.
Who is Luka's partner, right?
Kyrie.
Oh, Kyrie. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, but were they really a dynamic duo last year?
Yeah, they were like oil and
I just
water.
forget Kyrie. Sometimes I think Kyrie's like going to go save the world or something and just retire. Like he can just do that.
That's still a possibility.
He could just do that. Kyrie, yeah. He might.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, okay.
All right. So if you have the Bleacher Report app, basically go vote for our guys, Book and KD, so we can get them a W before we even start the season.
Triple B, if it's a popularity contest, we should have had two duos, Yuta and Bobo.
They might actually would have won it, though.
They'd have ran through it.
Honestly, that's not a terrible idea. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you being here with us. Of course, once again, just a reminder, if anything does pop off substantially, we will be here for you guys with an emergency pod. But if not, we will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Same place. If you are here on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're listening wherever you get your podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And be sure to follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can also give me a follow at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. Flex, I don't know what you're doing, but you guys can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey.
He likes Buck Dog's comment. That's what he's doing.
I see. Yeah. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Hey, Don in the chat. Just like Jax told us Miami could be our side piece. Phoenix can be yours if you want to know how it is to win. Ahoy, hoy.
Pass the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the mob. Turn the beat on, I throw it down like DA on the live. Best